Davey VTV, Davey V with you. We are back with part two. I basically decided to split these videos up. I'm not a huge fan of making videos too long. Usually I try to keep them either 15 minutes or as much as I can under 10 minutes. So this section, we are in Mount Hope Cemetery. And we are continuing to expose the city of Rochester, New York, and how they have abandoned and neglected the graves here and these folks' final resting place for decades. And so this one here is part two. I decided, like I said, to divide it because as I'm seeing, there's several graves. This is a section that I have not explored before of Mount Hope Cemetery. This is a section that I have not exposed. The city of Rochester owns this cemetery, and that's why I'm exposing their very disturbing, disrespectful, and disgusting actions of ignoring these folks' final resting place. So again, this is part two. And look at this woman's grave. She passed away in 1917. And again, like I always say, that is embedded into that ground, which means that has been toppled and embedded into the ground for decades because the city of Rochester, New York simply does not care. I showed this one. There's two here. We don't even know where the gravestone is for that one. This one, it's broken there, and it's basically almost unrecognizable. It's literally embedded into the ground. So imagine how long that has been there. Very, very disturbing. These two I showed earlier, husband and wife. I believe those are husband and wife, and maybe they're not. I apologize if they're not, but I've seen a lot of couples, a lot of husband and wives graves. And again, I want to say something which I usually try to remember to say on every video. It always feels, awkward. Maybe it's just my OCD. When I'm walking over these graves, there's no disrespect whatsoever intended. If you've ever visited a cemetery, it's almost unavoidable to, walk and not step on somebody's grave or over their grave. So no disrespect at all intended. On the contrary, I'm here exposing how the city of Rochester, New York is disrespecting. That is the disrespect. The real disrespect is what the city of Rochester, New York has done to these folks and is doing to these folks' final resting place by continuing to neglect and abandon their graves. There's another one embedded into the ground. Look at that one. Let's go up here because I'm trying literally to catch all of them in this section. Look at this here. Look at this. Maybe this is husband and wife. Look at this. Broken right there, and the rest is behind her. Oh, excuse me. Absolutely disgusting, disturbing. Shame on the city of Rochester, New York. There's a lot of inclines. I don't know if you can tell, but this is literally like a valley here. Look at this. Look at this headstone leaning up against a tree. Let's zoom out a little. I don't know if that goes here. It's just, does that go here? I don't know. Look at this. Another one. Let's go up here because I'm literally trying to catch as many of these on video. Look at these. Like I always say, these look pretty much intact if the city of Rochester, New York cared, but obviously they don't. That's why I'm making these videos. They could easily straighten out, level those bases, right? So they're level on the ground, and they could reattach, affix both of these headstones. There's one there, and there's one over there. They could easily do something about this if they wanted to, but they don't care. Look at this. Another one. Let me see if I can, again, I'm trying to catch all of these, and that's why I'm making a little series. This is part two again. Making a little series of all of these. So I want to try hard not to skip any. Look at this. There's another one there. Wow, look at that airplane. That airplane is low. The airport is really close, but that airport is look at this one. I think that airplane was low. Look at this. I think I skipped that one. Look at this one. This one is turned. What's going on here? Look at this. This is absolutely decimated and unrecognizable. What is this? Honestly, like, what is this here? I'll tell you what it is. It's the city of Rochester, New York, neglecting and abandoning these graves and disrespecting these folks who are buried here. That's what it is. Look at this. You don't even know who's buried here, what grave, what headstone corresponds to what grave. Unreal. Look at this. Yeah, this is probably, to be honest, one of the worst sections I've seen at Mount Hope Cemetery, and that's exactly why I'm documenting this. Look at this. Wow. Look at these. Look at those. Look at this solid base, absolutely solid base, nothing broken, nothing cracked, no pieces, right? Solid base, solid headstone. If the city of Rochester, New York really cared, which they don't, again, that is exactly why I'm making this video. But if they cared, they could easily reattach that headstone on top of this base. Wow, wow, wow. And again, no disrespect if I'm walking over these graves. I'm literally trying not to miss any here. Look at these two. Look at this. And again, as I mentioned in the first video, there's an organization, a so-called non-for-profit called Friends of Mount Hope Cemetery. In their mission statement, they lie in order to get donations and memberships and money out of folks, right? And they say that part of what they do is fix graves. And that is an absolute lie. Look at this. That is a lie. They do not fix graves. These graves here have been abandoned and neglected for decades. So do not be scammed. If you know anyone who has donated to Friends of Mount Hope Cemetery, show them this video, please. And tell them not to give Friends of Mount Hope Cemetery a penny. Literally a penny. Look at that. Look at this. Let's go up here. Again, I'm trying not to miss any here. I'm going to wrap this video up in a second because we're almost at the 10-minute mark. And again, we'll be back with part 3. Again, we are at beautiful Mount Hope Cemetery, an otherwise beautiful cemetery which unfortunately has been neglected and abandoned for decades by the city of Rochester, New York, who is abandoning and neglecting and disrespecting these folks' final resting place. We'll be back with part 3. As always, thank you for watching Davey V TV.